Good evening everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session for today, daily Takkar Rapid Series. What we are doing in this lecture series, we are daily discussing 10 MCQs based on today's current affairs. This is class 52 and today we are going to cover 20 MCQs based on Saturday as well as today's current affairs. The lead topic is Fediverse, it was in news. And before that we will discuss one quotation and then we will discuss these 20 MCQs. The today's quotation is by Dalai Lama. Be kind whenever possible, it is always possible. Okay, be kind whenever possible, it is always possible. See how he is explaining here that one should be kind, that means one should be compassionate towards other people, considerate, empathetic to other people, whenever it is possible, and he is himself saying that it is always possible. That means in every situation it is possible to be kind. So he is basically promoting the message of peace, love, kindness, respect, respectful treatment to others, and this is how he is promoting all over the world the philosophy of Buddha also. And Dalai Lama is also promoting, we can say that the universal values. All these universal values are all of these, largely they are human values, we can say. And being kind means we can say compassionate, considerate, being human to other people. So whenever it is possible, and it is always possible, that means in every situation it is always possible to be kind to other people. And when we are not kind means whenever we are angry, we are jealous, we are we can say that not kind simply, we are violent toward the other people, we are affecting their, harming their dignity. So in such situation what happens, it leads to lack of peace, lack of order in the society, it harms the other people and ultimately it results into chaos in the society. It goes against the very human nature. The inherent human nature is be kind. Okay. So when we talk about the philosophy of Aristotle, he says that human is social, ethical, political human being, or even we can say that the Kant says that human is, we can say, kind person, or we can say tries to do the good and avoid evil. ये सारी चीजें जो है inherent human positive nature की तरफ बात करती है. Fine, okay. Let's talk about today's questions, and there are 20 topics we are going to cover. Quickly, let's go in details of first one, Fediverse. It is the lead topic. It was recently in news. Why? Because Meta's Threads app was recently declared as a part of Fediverse. Now, what is Fediverse? As the name suggests, Fediverse, Fedis means federal. Federal means largely it is related to decentralized control, or decentralized. Okay. So, in this Fediverse, basically all these apps, social networking apps, they will be managed in a decentralized manner. Different servers will be there and people will be able to communicate with the people in the other server or other social media platforms, social networking sites. So it is a group of federated social networking services. This is going to be the future of social networking sites, or we can say social media. So A is the correct answer, Fediverse. Such kind of term based questions from technology, science and technology can be asked in the examination. Now, what is doctrine of reasonable classification? So, as the name suggests, reasonable classification, when we talk about classification means there is some classification of people on the basis of we can say certain criteria, classification of products, goods, all these things. But generally when we talk from polity perspective, it must be something related to rights of the people and all. So it allows the government to classify people or things into different groups and treat them differently. That is true. When we talk about right to equality, not right to education, right to equality, it talks about the people should not be discriminated, but there is positive discrimination and there is inherent let's say doctrine of reasonable classification in the fundamental rights itself. And from time to time judiciary has emphasized on this. So first statement is correct. It is an exception to the rights of equality provided under the Indian Constitution. This is not exception to right to equality under Article 14, we can say that, but rather it complements to right to equality. एक्सेप्शन मतलब क्या है कि राइट टू इक्वालिटी के बाहर जाके ये हम बोल रहे हैं कि रीजनेबल क्लासिफिकेशन एंड दे आर प्रोवाइडेड सम काइंड ऑफ सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट और सम अफर्मेटिव एक्शंस आर बीइंग कैरिड आउट बाय द स्टेट, but this is not true, rather it protects, complements right to equality. So we can say it is incorrect. Only one, that is A, is the correct answer here, right? Okay, let's talk about next question. Okay, good manufacturing practices. These are actually the guidelines or the practices related to ensuring quality aspect in pharmaceutical products, and this has been in place, but in 2018 they were comprehensively revised and they were compulsory for most of the pharmaceutical industries to ensure quality of these products. These guidelines that prioritize speed and cost effectiveness, not correct, rather they prioritize quality aspect. So the primary objective is to minimize the quality risk inherent to the product. So second statement is correct, first is incorrect. It is mandatory for Indian pharmaceutical from 2018. So this is correct, and that's why answer here is only 2, right? Okay, now let's talk about next. Okay, PIL से basic question पूछा हुआ है, right? So public interest litigation. Now this is very innovative tool by judiciary, and we know that it is not defined anywhere in the constitution or any other statute, rather it is judicial innovation, we can say. A public interest litigation, as the name suggests, whatever that is the judicial law, let's say legal initiatives is being taken, actions being taken in the public interest. Okay, so that we can say public interest. In one of the judgments, Supreme Court has defined that. Fine. Now Article 32 and 226 of the Constitution talks about the power to Supreme Court and High Courts to consider PIL. This is correct. First one is also correct. We can say it is neither defined. Okay, it can be filed for early hearing of the cases pending in High Courts and subordinate courts. Not correct. There are certain instances where the PIL is not applied and the Supreme Court or High Court can deny hearing those PILs. Like one of them is this one, other being like for example the admissions related issues like medical engineering college se admissions hai, the some complaints related to complaints of the government departments or related to pensions and all, तो उसके लिए PIL नहीं होगा. So all these are already from time to time judiciary in different cases have highlighted this. Okay, so only 2 here, again B is the correct answer. Right. Okay, let's talk about next. It is related to concept in economics. Okay, it is gross fixed capital formation. So as the name suggests, grossed. ठीक है, तो gross and net. ठीक है, तो nets में से हम depreciation minus करते हैं, gross में minus नहीं करते, consider करते. Right, so it accounts for both appreciation and depreciation of fixed capital? No, it does not account for depreciation. Rather net वाला जो है वो account करता है, ठीक है. So net fixed होता तो होता है, gross के लिए वो जो है उसमें नहीं consider होगा, right? So depreciation is not considered here. So we can say it is a measure of total investment. No, again we can say that rather it is a net whatever the investment that has been. Gross मतलब क्या है कि वहाँ पर जो भी कैपिटल एसेट्स जो है वो तैयार हुए हैं उतना ही उसमें वैल्यू, ठीक है. सो इट इज नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट. व्हाई? बिकॉज सम ऑफ द इन्वेस्टमेंट आल्सो गोज टुवर्ड्स द मेंटेनेंस of the capital assets, and that's why it is not considered. Both neither one nor 2 is correct here. D is the correct answer, right? Okay, now let's talk about next question. Himalayan vultures. Okay, so these Himalayan vultures are unique species. They are considered as old world vultures, and yes, it is not critically endangered, rather it is, we can say, least concern. Yes, they are sedentary and move only altitudinally. So, and they are monogamous. We can say that they as pair returns to the same nesting and roosting sites from year to year. Very unique phenomenon they are having, and the vulture species in India are let's say their population is coming down because of the drugs like diclofenac. It is given in NCERT already in past. UPSC has asked question on this drug. It affects their kidneys and they die. ठीक है. This particular drug is used as a painkiller in the cattle. When the cattle die, this painkiller through biomagnification is, we can say, its concentration increases in the vultures, and that's why they die through kidney failure. So we can say what is the correct answer here? Again, B is the correct answer. Okay. Okay. Now match the following pairs, and it is talking about microbes and used in which of the following. Okay, so what it is saying, aspergillus niger acetic acid. So it is not used in acetic acid, rather here the particular microbe, that is aspergillus niger, ये इसकी बात हो रही है. तो ये एसिटिक एसिड के लिए नहीं होता है, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर जो दूसरा एसिड जो है वो है सिट्रिक एसिड, उसके लिए यूज होता है. क्लोस्ट्रीडियम ब्यूटेली लैक्टिक एसिड, ब्यूटेली है तो यू कैन यूज लॉजिक ब्यूटेलिक एसिड, ब्यूटेरिक एसिड सॉरी, ठीक है, ब्यूटेरिक एसिड के लिए यूज होता है. सैकरिस सर्विसी, यानी कि ये किसका नाम है, साइंटिफिक नेम यीस्ट का नाम है. एंड यस वी नो दैट यीस्ट इज यूज्ड फॉर इथेनॉल प्रोडक्शन. दिस इज करेक्ट. फर्स्ट वन, सेकंड वन इनकरेक्ट. ओनली वन पेयर इज करेक्टली मैच्ड हियर, ओनली वन पेयर इज करेक्टली मैच्ड. A is the correct answer, right? Now consider the following statement. Intercropping methods are involved in growing different crops simultaneously within the same plot. That is true. First one is correct statement, right? Intercropping बोलते हैं. Mulching is the practice of cultivation of leguminous crops between the cropping seasons. Now this is not correct. Mulching is the method which is used, we can say, to conserve moisture and soil. ठीक है, सॉइल कंजर्वेशन, मॉइस्चर कंजर्वेशन के लिए यूज करते हैं. क्या होता है यहाँ पर, बेसिकली वॉट एवर द लीव्स और वी कैन से दैट द रिमेन्स ऑफ द अर्लियर क्रॉप, दे आर सिंपली पुट ऑन द फील्ड एंड that is sprayed on the field in between the crops, this is mulching. Okay, so it is incorrect. Second statement is incorrect. कहाँ पर है second statement is incorrect? C is the correct answer directly. Okay, so yes, let's talk about next. Consider the following statements. It is the total amount of water received in the form of rainfall over an area is called rainwater harvesting potential. See, potential is something that is to be achieved. No, rather अगर existing है तो that is going to be endowment. So we can say it is rainfall endowment. The amount of water that can be effectively harvested out of total water received. Now this is potential. And we can say this is being defining here. Interchange किया हुआ है. One can easily find out that, and that's why answer is neither one nor two. Neither one nor two. Okay? Yes. Parthenogenesis. Now this we learn in biology, 12th standard NCERT. Different kinds of, we can say that, reproduction methods, reproductive methods. And parthenogenesis in flowers, or we can say in plants, this particular is very famous, and it is the production of embryo from the female gamete without male gamete. This is called as parthenogenesis, and in many species of the plants this is observed. So we can say that this is C. Correct answer is C here. Okay. Now these 10 MCQs from today's current affairs, and it is talking about first one, digital health incentive scheme. Digital health incentive scheme. Okay, so this particular scheme is being extended till 2023 end, and that's why it is in news. Under Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, this is being launched to boost the digital health transactions in the country. First one is correct. It is being implemented by National Health Authority. This is also true. Under the scheme, incentives are provided to BPL households. Now this is not correct. Under this scheme, basically the service providers, digital health service providers, like we can say that digital, we can say pathological labs, hospitals, who are providing digital health services, we can say to them the incentives are being provided under this scheme. Okay, so not to the directly people. Okay, so third statement is incorrect, and again we can say B is the correct answer here. ठीक है? Okay, fine. Now with reference to Pradhan Mantri G1 Yojana, okay, so basically it is जैव ईंधन, ठीक है, प्रधानमंत्री जैव ईंधन वातावरण अनुकूलन फसल निवारण, ठीक है. सो इससे रिलेटेड ये स्कीम है. हिंदी में शायद सब बहुत लोगों को मीनिंग नहीं समझ में आ रहा होगा. And yes, what is the meaning here? Basically, we have to use the biomass and other agriculture residue for 2G, second generation ethanol production here through that particular residue. Okay, now this is initiative of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, not of Forest and Climate Change. Also, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research ये नहीं है, rather पेट्रोलियम मिनिस्ट्री के अंडर एक हाई टेक्नोलॉजी का इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हाई टेक्नोलॉजी जो होता है उस वो इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी है. दिस इज इनकरेक्ट, दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. सो फर्स्ट वन, दैट इज ओनली वन इज द करेक्ट आंसर हियर, सेकंड जनरेशन इथेनॉल प्रोडक्शन. ओके, फाइन. Right. Now G20, very simple question is framed here. We can expect question because we are hosting presidency of this particular group of 20. Now this is not related to international defense cooperation, no, it is related to economic cooperation. It is related to economic cooperation. Yes, G20 members represent over 75% of global trade. This is true. Almost we can say that 2/3 of population or overall population and 85% and above of GDP of whole world. Okay, so this is the representation. We are aware about the basics of G20, the troika, how the presidentialship goes from one country to other country, and there is no permanent secretariat for G20. Okay, there are different groups, working groups through which the mechanism or coordination is going on. So second statement is correct. First one is incorrect. B is the correct answer here. Okay. Now, Financial Action Task Force. Consider the following statement about FATF. Okay, even past we have talked about this. FATF is Global Terrorist Financing Watchdog. We are aware about that. It is money laundering and Global Terrorist Financing Watchdog. So yes, this is true, this is correct. Many students may not be knowing about this, but originally FATF was created in 1989 through G7 summit in Paris, and then later on, originally it was having only mandate related to money laundering. Recently this was expanded to global terrorist financing also. High risk jurisdiction countries subject to call for action are termed as blacklist countries. So this is correct. It maintains two lists, grey list and black list. सो ग्रे लिस्ट में जो होता है ज़्यादातर हाई रिस्क की तरफ जाते हुए हम बोल सकते हैं दे रिक्वायर मोर मॉनिटरिंग. हाई रिस्क में जिसको हम बोलते हैं कॉल फॉर एक्शन. सो दिस इज वी कैन से दैट करेक्ट एंड दैट्स व्हाई सी शुड बी द आंसर हियर. फाइन. ओके. नाउ 75 endemic birds of India publication. Yes, this was published the Hindu में जो आर्टिकल आपने पढ़ा होगा, Zoological Survey of India. This is true. According to the report, 5% of the birds found in India are endemic. This is also true, the fact from this particular we can say publication, and some of the species of birds are mentioned in that article, and you should be prepared with that. We have framed one more question related to those species that are being asked that are mentioned in this particular article. How UPSC has framed question also I will tell you. But one more question, Indian eagle owl. Okay, it is largest all species in the country. This is true. Densely forested areas में नहीं, तर ये rocky, we can say that bush, or we can say that the sparse vegetation, or the one which is found in semi-arid or arid region, thorny vegetation वहाँ पे मिलता है. It is incorrect, and it is not vulnerable, rather it is again we can say least concern. Okay, least concern. So first one is correct, second incorrect, third incorrect, and that's why only one is correct answer here. Okay, Indian eagle owl. Okay, look at how it is looking like now. Okay, so recently we had hosted virtual SCO summit, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We have many times covered the basics of SCO. Let's not go into details of that. But what India had started new initiatives in under its presidentialship, in which areas? Startups and innovation, tradition and medicine, shared Buddhist heritage, in these three areas. But it is saying not. So co-production of defense equipments. One can use the logic also. Co-production largely we have with let's say US and Russia. And largely US के साथ है हम बोल सकते हैं. So we can say this is the correct answer. C is the correct answer here. Okay. Now, clouded leopard, yes, it is the unique species largely found in Southeast Asia forest. So, this is correct. The largest of the small cats family, yes, this is also true. Not critically endangered, rather it is vulnerable. So, this is incorrectly you can say stated. And last one, they are excellent swimmers and they are solitary animals, they only mate for mating purpose. Okay, so we can say that C is the correct answer here. Clouded leopards largely they are arboreal, ठीक है, features या फिर characteristics के ऊपर question बनता है. Arboreal, they lives on, or we can say easily they can climb on the trees. Okay, fine. Then some fact based question related to crops. Such kind of framing is asked in the prelims examination. India is the second largest sugar producer after Brazil. In 2021-22, India has crossed Brazil and became the first or largest producer as well as largest consumer. We are already largest consumer. We are sweet people, no? तो हम मीठे हैं ना, बहुत ज़्यादा sugar खाते हैं, इसलिए ठीक है. So yes, Brazil is now the second one. India is the largest producer and largest consumer of the sugar. So first one is incorrect, second is correct. Central government offers fair and remunerative price for the sugarcane directly to the farmers. Now students know that FRP is for sugarcane, but whether students know about that it is directly given to the farmers? No. MSP is given to the farmers, but FRP is given to sugar mills by the government, and sugar mill owners ensure that that amount is given to the farmers first. ठीक है, so it is incorrect. So that's why only one is the correct answer. And lastly, that I was talking about the publication based question. Look at the framing here and how UPSC also asked question with reference to India's biodiversity, Ceylon frogmouth, coppersmith barbet, grey chinned minived. ये नाम कौन से स्पेसीज के हैं? वो आर्टिकल में इन स्पेसीज का नाम था. मणिपुर बुश स्क्वैल, जेरडन स्कॉर्सर, आशंबू लैंग्विशिंग थ्रश, ऐसे नाम मेंशन किए थे. बेसिकली दीज आर नॉट बर्ड फिश स्पेसीज, दे आर बर्ड स्पेसीज, स्पेसीज ऑफ बर्ड्स. सो बर्ड के स्पेसीज थोड़े यूनिक होते हैं, आपको याद रखने, फिश के और बर्ड के, जो पास में यूपीएससी ने पूछा है, गोल्डन फिश एंड ऑल. ठीक है, सो बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर हियर. Fine. Okay, so these were today's 20 MCQs that we have covered. Let's say the explanation, detailed explanation of all these MCQs is there in the description of this video. Fine. Thank you.